Hey everybody, DripBuggy here, and here are some tips that will help beginners for CSGO. So these tips can range from just little quality of life things that will make the game just that a little bit smoother, and they can also go to things that will start letting you get kill feeds. So, starting off with something you should do before you hop into your very first lobby, look through your keyboard and mouse settings. So if I just keyboard and mouse settings, is this the right things? Yeah, it was. So keyboard and mouse settings, just look through all your keybinds, see what they all do. If one's set to something you don't like, don't forget to change it. You'll thank yourself later. I made this mistake when I didn't know what my press to talk button was in my first comp game, and yeah, that was interesting. Also, I accidentally unbound my drop key, so you want to make sure that you don't leave any important keys unbound. And now, onto the second thing, which you can also do in this menu, is you go into your inventory. Then, you, if you're just starting out, you won't have a lot of stuff, and I also don't have a lot of stuff. But something you'll want to do is there's quite a decent amount of weapon alternatives, like the R8 revolver and the Desert Eagle. Oops, that's not what I meant to hit. They act as alternates for each other, even though they're entirely different weapons. So the experiment with those, see which one you like better. I like the revolver. It's cheaper and I can hit shots better with it. And there's also a few gun alternatives that you should always take. Like, you'll start off with the P2000 selected for the counter-terrorist team. Just take the USPS. There's no reason why you shouldn't. It just, one, it's silenced, so it's harder to tell where gunshots are coming from, and two, it just sounds cleaner, okay? Now for number 3 on the list, we have how to deal with bullet recoil. So the bullet recoil in bullet spread in CSGO is really unlike any other game, because for whatever reason, instead of making bullet recoil somewhat random but also sort of predictable as well, they made it like a pattern you can ooh, that's a bit loud. They made it something that you can predict almost, you can predict every single time. So what you see here is, let me just reset this, is basically teaching you how to use the spray patterns for any weapon. It just flat out shows you how you need to move the crosshair to make every shot hit pretty close to the middle. So let me just turn on some extra settings. Anyways, when you're just starting off, you're going to want the ghost hair on, and as you can tell, I'm not the greatest at this. I'm not sure what that was. That was, I was seeing if I could trace that and see if that would work as a target, but you may also want to keep look at that to see where each bullet is placed when you fire. So just again, because it is one tap headshots and normally 3-shot body shots, you want to make sure that you're hitting at least half of your magazine each time you fire. And of course, the time you're gonna have the best accuracy is the first part, because as you see right there, it's like practically dragging straight down, and you'll hit most of the shots on that part just because of the nature of the recoil. Also, you can pick other weapons to use over here, like here. That's not what I meant to grab. Here. You'll want to practice with this and the AK the most, mainly because like they're the main weapons that you use. So as you can see here, the recoil pattern for this looks much easier. Shockingly easier even. Okay, so now going into the tips that you can use in-game. One of the most important functions for trying to get somewhere is, or for mobility, is shift walking and crouching. So you'll see that each one makes you go consistently slower. Get out of here. Bro, I want to get this tutorial in. Leave me alone. But shift walking, not only does it make you walk slower and have a more accurate hip fire range, or more accurate hip fire accuracy, it makes your footsteps completely silent. So does crouching, but look at how slow you move. So, really only crouch walk. Actually, never scratch that, never crouch walk. There's really no point. You might want to use shift walk to like sneak up on enemies. So, like, if there's an enemy who doesn't know where you are, and you're trying to get somewhere, and you don't know, well, and you know they're in the general vicinity, try and shift walk there. You can get some pretty sneaky plays off, and kind of scare the living crap out of your opponents. Also, one thing to add on to the shift walking statement is if you see a friend, a teammate walking or shift walking nearby, always start shift walking, because a lot of times they're shift walking for a reason, and that reason is usually so they don't die. On the topic of not getting shots, which, I'm gonna be honest, is kind of an important subject, if I do say so myself. Anywhere you go, you're going to want to try and clear as many corners as possible, because a lot of times there will end up being somebody, oops, didn't mean to do that. There will be somebody holding like a random off angle or corner that you probably wouldn't have checked otherwise, or even seen it anyways. So, if, let's say, you're a counter-terrorist and you're coming into peak lobby, when you pop out, there could be somebody standing here ready to just dome you. There could be somebody standing here to absolutely dome you when you walk in. There's also all the random spots in the middle of the room, but you're more likely to be seen there. There could also be somebody up here. There could be somebody up here. And there could be somebody around this corner right there. So, let me just plant this so I get a bit more time. So basically just do your best to look around for enemies whenever you go around a corner. And now on to the next tip, which sort of goes along with the shift walking thing. Shotgun, why not? So what I have to say about that is, if you ever hear a sound, never brush it off as like just a random like ambient sound, because There is barely any ambience in this game. Oh man, I went for the pistol kill, I'm too cheeky. But like the only ambience that I really know of in this game is probably like the chickens, and there might be little other things that I'm just not paying attention to, but yeah, if you hear something, it's most likely either a friendly just being interesting, or an enemy also just not being quiet enough. Like, you could very distinctly hear that guy's footsteps before I just absolutely just murdered him. But on to more of a mobility-based tip. You saw how I did this earlier, or may have not. Okay, so that's not a place where the crouch jump is viable. Let me just go over here. Ooh. Oh, while I'm here, here's like a little quick tip. Walking diagonal into a ladder makes you go up the ladder faster than just walking into the ladder. So you see that. And then you see this. I believe it was something like 50% faster or so. Okay, now there's like a special jump that you can do, and it's like, I call it crouch jump. And basically, you kind of have to do it to get up here, and it's more of a glitch jump, but you won't get in trouble for this glitch. Like, unlike pixel hopping, which, for whatever reason, gets you banned in competitive. Don't ask. But basically what you're going to want to do is jump, and like when you're at the peak of the jump, you're going to want to crouch. So you saw me do it right then. So just walk up to this, crouch, and you'll know you did it correctly when you get over that bar. On the topic of these destructible doors, if you ever want to open one of them faster, I mean, like, this is already just attack, but if you ever want to open Squeaky or any other movable door faster, the explosive grenades, if you drop it right at the bottom of the door, it blows the door right up. So you can just quick open Squeaky without there being a squeak, which, I mean, if there's like a grenade going off, that's gonna cover up pretty much any sound. And now, just something that'll make your teammates happy is, this is a flashbang. If you throw a flashbang, you get blinded. So do your teammates. So make sure that whenever you throw a flashbang, you don't flash your teammates. Hey, just a tip for the first round of each game, or each swap if you're playing competitive, that's called the pistol round, and it's because you can only use pistols in it. So really, you should, in most circumstances, you shouldn't save during a pistol round unless you're on the terrorist team and you want to get an AK next round. Also, another economy strategy that, let's see, have any grenades I can end the round with? Where's the last spot? If you ever want to save up money in a game, go for something that's called an eco loadout. So basically, it's a loadout that gets the job done, just not as well and for a cheaper price. So let's say for the second round, instead of buying an AK, you want to save up for an op. Then you usually go for like a cheaper SMG or a Galley AR because it doesn't use all of the money you get and it lets you save some. And now for a tip on crosshair placement. What you're going to want to do with that is what you're going to want to do with that is always keep it at head level. no matter what, because most weapons in this game do one-tap headshots, so the argument of saying, ooh, I want to hit my next shots isn't all that valid, because, like, let's just get this, because if you do the job correctly, there won't even need to be a next shot. So, while it may be a little difficult to get it exactly on head level, you can use your teammates as an example for how to get it exactly on head level, or if you can't really get it exactly on head level, you can just keep it close to head level and sort of flick when you see an enemy. Now, a tip for if you want to improve your weapon skills, like with a certain weapon, don't do casual, and especially don't do competitive. Do deathmatch instead. You get to test out your weapons pretty consistently, because if you do casual, it's still round-based bomb plant stuff, and if you try out a new weapon and aren't that good with it, you're gonna die practically immediately and not be able to try out the weapon all that much. The only reason why I use deathmatch anymore is really just to try out new weapons sprays that I don't have down yet. So, like, I did some deathmatch yesterday to try out how my AK spray pattern canceling worked, and worked pretty well. Oh man, I want to get the headshot. That's mean. Ooh, also, something you should know about knife kills is the fastest way to get a knife kill. So from the front, the fastest way to get a knife kill is a double left click. I thought I was gonna get behind him and knife them. But the fastest way to get a knife kill is is with a double left click and then a right click. With most guns, you want to stop running before you start shooting. Like, obviously with shotguns, you don't need to do that, and as I just found out with revolvers, I don't need to do that either. Case in point.